clicked on this video, then you are probably aware of the Rabbit R1, so I'll get straight to the point. In September, Rabbit asked me if I wanted to be part of the Teach Mode Alpha. This would be a tiny group of people trying out the feature before anyone else. My answer was obviously a yes. Until now, my NDA prevented me from even mentioning that I was part of the alpha. I couldn't talk about Teach Mode, share screenshots, or even hint that I was testing. But that's changed. Rabbit has given me permission to show exactly what we've been working on. You might know me as Justin. I won the art contest back in April, attended the pickup party in New York, and I started Lamb at home with my friends Poke and Kevin. So before we get too deep into this, I want to be completely transparent. While Rabbit has given me permission to share my experience with Teach Mode, they haven't influenced this video in any way. I bought my R1 and my R2 with my hard-earned money, and everything I'm about to share comes from my genuine experience, not only as an alpha tester, but as a customer who has been looking forward to Teach Mode since the beginning. So here's the fun part. Let me show you exactly how this works. Once you enter your base URL on the main page, Teach Mode has 3 tabs: Login, Teach, and Replay. Let's walk through Login and Teach, and we'll focus on Replay a little bit later. Everything starts in the Login tab. You will see a VNC preview on the right, and this is basically just a live preview of what your agent sees and controls. Log into whatever site you're working with, click I logged in, and Rabbit saves those credentials for later. Moving on to the Teach tab, you've got 3 key components here. The lesson name needs to be descriptive and natural because it's how Rabbit understands what the lesson is for. The task description is your step-by-step breakdown. This is where you detail exactly what your Rabbit needs to do. The recording log is really useful to me. It captures every interaction with the page in real time. It even shows you the HTML elements you're working with, and that's very helpful when you're writing your task description. If you make a mistake while recording, you can just undo that specific step and keep going. I'll start with a simple Spotify automation. Let's say I want to save the currently playing song to my liked songs list. Let's use the base URL of spotify.com and click Start Teaching. This brings us to the Login tab, but since I'm already logged in, I'll skip to the Teach tab. Let's set the name to like the currently playing song and write in whatever steps I need to take to complete the action. Then I click Teach and complete the action, in this case, clicking the Save to Library button. After all the steps in my lesson are recorded, I'll go back through the recording log and annotate them. Give a bit of context about the element and what it does, or maybe why it needs to get clicked. You don't need to annotate every step, but I find that a quick overview of what the button is can help it out a lot. After that, I'll process the lesson and wait a bit. Once it says that the status is processed, we can give it a try. I'll move to the Replay tab and click Replay. Obviously, this will replay the lesson, and if everything is okay, it should like the current song. Since it worked in the Replay tab, I'll give it a try on R1.
Running like the currently playing song. Right-click the song to open.
So that didn't work, but I actually know why. Remember when we set the lesson name and task description? R1 actually uses the task description during intention triage to find the lesson you want to run. Since I was using the lesson title in my prompt, it couldn't find the correct lesson and therefore failed. Some other alpha testers and I have noticed that sometimes it's hard for R1 to understand which lesson you actually want to run, but my buddy Ron has found a great workaround. Instead of setting your task description to the exact list of steps, you should use the field as a prompt. Here's an example. If I want to star a repository on GitHub, I'll set the base URL to github.com, the title to star GitHub repository, and then in the task description, I'll input what I might say to call this lesson. In this case, I would want to say something to R1 like star the blank repository on GitHub. So I'll enter that with brackets around the repository name to denote a variable. Then we click Teach and complete the steps required as usual. Now let's give it a try on R1. Start the OpenAI Whisper repository on GitHub using Teach mode.
Let me take a look. Running star the OpenAI Whisper repository.
As you can see, it immediately recognizes which one I'm talking about. This is because of the way intention triaging is set up, but I don't know the specifics, unfortunately.
And press enter to search. Click the star button to star the repository. The OpenAI Whisper repository on GitHub has been successfully starred using Teach mode.
Sometimes I have an idea for a Twitter post, but I don't want to pull out my phone to write it down or save it to my tweet drafts, so let's create a Teach mode lesson that fixes this. I'll use x.com as the base URL, the title will be draft a tweet, and the task description can be draft a tweet that says tweet content. Tweet content will be the variable it will use for whatever the tweet should say. You know the drill by now, let's teach it and test it. Using Teach mode, draft a tweet that says, "This is a message from Teach mode. I can't wait for you all to join me."
Taking a look now, running draft. A tweet that says, "This is a message from Teach mode. I can't wait for you all to join me." Click the icon to compose a new tweet. Click inside the text box to focus and start typing. Type your text into the box to draft your tweet. Click the X button to close the draft tweet editor. Click the Save button to save your draft tweet. The tweet has been successfully drafted using Teach mode with the message, "This is a message from Teach mode. I cannot wait for you all to join me."
Now let's get a little bit more complicated by returning some data back to the user. Let's find the latest video from a specific YouTuber and then return the name of the video to the user. The base URL will be youtube.com, and I don't need to log in for this one. The lesson name will be read latest YouTube video from specific channel, and then I'll set the task description to what's the latest video from channel. I'll go through the steps, making sure to use the read tool to let the R1 talk back to me. This is the tool that you use to get information back to the user via R1. All I need to do is select the text content, and R1 will read it out to me when I replay the lesson. Let's process this and give it a try. So this one took much longer to process than most other lessons I've made, and I'm not sure why. Use Teach mode to tell me the latest YouTube video from CoffeeZilla.
Taking a look now. Running. What's the latest video from CoffeeZilla? Click on the input field to focus and start typing. Type the channel name into the search field. Click the search icon to execute the search based on the entered query. Click on the Filters button to open additional filter options. Click on the Channel option to filter the search results to channels. Click on the channel name to navigate to its page. Click on the Videos tab to view the latest videos from the channel. Read the title of the latest video to obtain the information required. Contents: Exposing Andrew Tate's crypto grift. I have successfully retrieved.
So as you can see, read mode is a very powerful and versatile tool. Another thing you could do is recreate this lesson, but return even more information to the user. For example, the name of the video, how many views and likes it has, when it came out, etc. Let's see how good Teach mode is at summarizing information. I'll make a lesson to go to the following tab on Twitter, and then return a summary of what's going on over there. Summarize the following tab on X using Teach mode.
Taking a look now. Running Summarize my following tab on X using Teach mode. Click Following to view content. Review or scroll the content within Following to summarize. Contents. The following tab contains posts from various users that the person follows. Noteworthy updates include: Jessie Liu discusses the excitement about a new Teach mode feature, which is anticipated to release soon.
So yeah, that's Teach mode. Overall, it can be very powerful if you know what you're doing. I've made an unedited cut of all of the demos, and that's going to be linked right below the like button. I hope you enjoyed this overview. If you have any other ideas for future videos, let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Take care.